Welcome to another edition of Coffee with the Goose, where we talk about things that are interesting, fascinating, and irritating. Good to have you back. I am the Goose. We'll start like we always do, with coffee and none of that decaf garbage. We drink the real thing. I love my caffeine, and I love my coffee good and strong, like my opinion, and got some creamer in there to make it sweet, just like me. All right. Let's talk boxing, shall we? Let's talk Manny Pacquiao. Now, let's not talk about any specific fight now. Let's talk about what makes a champion. Okay, what makes somebody great? Whether it be, no matter what line of work you're in. I don't care if you're a singer, a fighter, a surgeon, doesn't matter. You never do it on your own. There's always a supporting cast. Always. And with Manny Pacquiao, the case is that's been the case. Now, what makes Pacquiao a champion? Well, of course, you have to have God-given skills. He's got that, and But again, a lot of people have that. It's more than just having the physical ability to fight. You have to have that fire in your belly. You have to have that never say die, never give up attitude. And he's got that. And like many great fighters, he grew up poor. Pacquiao grew up very, very poor. I'm not sure what really led him into the fight game. Of course, being poor had a lot to do with that, but he was a natural and he had that fire. And we've seen that time and time again for 20 years. So right away, he had the goods. And we saw him, of course, he had great help to begin with, as people taught him the ropes and taught him the different techniques and the different skills needed to be a good fighter. But he took off from there, and he was a storm. He was a typhoon. He was relentless. He had the great gift, the great talent, and the great desire. And he was a champion before he met Freddie Roach. He held several titles in the lower weight classes, but then things changed. When he met Freddie Roach at the Wild Card Gym, Roach knew immediately, here's a special young man. And it was a match made in heaven, because Freddie Roach, of course, is a former boxer, and he was very good. His boxing career kind of tailed off towards the end, but he knew what he was doing. And he opened up Freddie Roach's Wild Card Gym. Now, Roach didn't just start as a trainer with Manny Pacquiao. He's got a long history of training several great fighters. He has trained 27 world champions. I don't think anybody else has ever done that. He's the 6-time trainer of the year. I don't know if anyone else has done that. I mean, Freddie Roach is a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about it. Who else has Freddie trained besides Manny Pacquiao? This will give you an idea of what kind of territory we're talking about. Very elite group. How about Mike Tyson? How about Miguel Cotto, Julio Cesar Chavez, James Toney, and the list goes on and on. I mean, Freddie Roach has trained a lot of great fighters, but he encountered a rare specimen with Manny Pacquiao. But Pacquiao was an uncut gem, if that's kind of the best description I can come up with. Great athlete, great desire, great skills, but needed some work if he was going to advance to that next level. He was basically a one-armed punching machine. Now, I know he's left-hander, he threw right hands, but he was not skilled with the right hand. And he was a brawler, a very good brawler, by the way. But Roach took him and trained him meticulously. And, it's more than just running your laps, working the bag, and sparring. That's part of it, of course. But you need somebody to teach you how to fight and how to box, the proper fundamentals. And Freddie Roach taught Manny Pacquiao that. Pacquiao, of course, still in his heart is a brawler, but he is a very skilled boxer. Don't doubt me. He uses the right hand. His right hook is deadly. And we saw against Matisse in his most recent knockout, The uppercut was deadly. So he's got a wide variety of moves and a variety of angles. So, Freddie Roach is a gem for Manny Pacquiao, and they have been working together for about 20 years, and not 20 years, but 15 years, I think. And what a great relationship that's been. The first time I saw Pacquiao fight live was against Oscar De La Hoya. And you remember the story. Oh, he's a great young fighter, but he's going to get killed. People were telling him not to fight Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya will kill you. De La Hoya had to retire. Pacquiao made him look bad. And it wasn't just the brawling. Keep in mind, Pacquiao, with 39 knockouts in his career, not many of them have been in the welterweight division. Think about that. For those of you who say Pacquiao has no boxing skills, think about that. Very few of them have come in the welterweight division. And so he's learned really how to box, and he's shown that skill against great tactical fighters like Sean Bradley, Bradley. His first name escapes me now, but he was a champion. What's that? Mosley? Yeah, Mosley. Yeah, Sugar Shane Mosley. Great, thanks, Jude. I can always count on Jude. Sugar Shane Mosley is one of them. Miguel Cotto is another, and Bradley was another. So he's grown into an 8 division, and if you don't like the catch weights, he's a 5 linear division champion. No one has ever done that. He's one of the all-time greats. Now, Pacquiao and Freddie Roach parted ways briefly after the Jeff Horn robbery. And don't tell me, if you watch that fight, you know better. That was a robbery. Teddy Atlas, the great trainer, told Jeff Horn to his face, he beat you. And look at Jeff Horn's face after the fight. We know who won. Okay, but that's beside the point. Boxing's a dirty game. Okay, a lot of corruption, and good for Jeff Horn. He's a nice guy, but it was a robbery, and it was a lot of dirty, cheap shots. And I think we all agree Pacquiao did not think that Freddie Roach defended him enough to the referee and to stop that. And so they parted ways for one fight, and then Pacquiao, with his old friend Boo Boy Fernandez in the ring as his lead trainer, knocked out Matisse. So there's another element to the Pacquiao team, is Boo Boy. Now, Boo Boy is not your classically trained trainer, if you will. He's a long-time friend. He's been with Pacquiao. I think he's been with Pacquiao longer than anybody else, over 20 years. And Boo Boy knows his business now. And so there's another element to Pacquiao's training and his success. Freddie Roach and Boo Boy Fernandez. And somebody asked Pacquiao recently, who's the boss, Freddie or Boo Boy? And Pacquiao's answer was typical Manny. He said they're both the boss. So it's a team effort. Now, the other element to the success in the Pacquiao corner is the strength and conditioning coach. That's Justin Fortune. And we hope to interview him soon, along with Freddie. And yes, no joking, we hope to interview Pacquiao at the Freddie Roach's Wildcard Gym as he gets ready for his next fight, probably against Keith Thurman in July. But we'll keep you up to date on that. But Justin Fortune, former boxer, former heavyweight from Australia. I love this guy. First of all, he's a great trainer, and he knows how to adjust the training not only to the different opponents that Pacquiao faces, but to his age. Justin Fortune and the Pacquiao team realized recently, you got to slow Manny down. He's not going to do it himself. He's nonstop. It's full speed ahead with Manny, 24/7. They learned that as he gets older, and he's 40 now, you have to ensure that he rests enough, and that way he'll continue at this amazing level. Justin Fortune, great fighter not a great fighter as a heavyweight, but he was a fighter, but a great strength and conditioning coach. And I love watching his interviews because it's no BS with Justin Fortune. He makes me laugh. What other elements are there to Manny Pacquiao's success? We saw the great God-given gifts, the great desire, the great heart, a great trainer, strength and conditioning coach. What else is it? His diet. And no, he's never been on PEDs. He can put that to rest. He's been clean his whole life. But his diet is unique, Filipino. So that means fish and rice and chicken. But there's more to it than that. It's he does not drink cold beverages. Never has. He eats balut, by the way. Yeah, so that's something I haven't done yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to try that. But Pacquiao eats balut and he drinks warm milk. And he is almost religious about it. About 10 years ago, Boo Boy brought in milk that wasn't warm. Pacquiao slapped him. He's apologized, but he didn't do it again. But that's how serious he is with his diet. And he also has bone marrow, diet bone soup for breakfast. My wife and many of you Filipinos love bone soup with the cow marrow, the cow bone, the marrow, which is very healthy. And that's just another piece of the puzzle with Manny Pacquiao. And let's not forget seeking help from somebody who the only being that can help any of us, really, and that's God. He reads the Bible daily, reads Scripture, memorizes Scripture. He knows where his strength comes from, and that's from God. And one more thing, massage therapy. So he's got it all covered. He gets help, as we all need, from God. He needs massage therapy, great diet, great strength conditioning training, great guidance from his trainers, and it's all equals one thing, and that's a legendary fighter. And enjoy it while you got it, man. He's only going to be around for another year or two, but he's still one of the best in the business. He still has a belt at 40 years old, and he's going to go after another belt in July. And his opponent, Keith Thurman, I wish you well, Keith Thurman. You don't know what you're in for. Pacquiao's one of the greatest ever. Looking forward to seeing him fight once again. That's it for this edition of Coffee with the Goose. Thank you for joining me. And thank you for all your comments. And we're on Facebook now, by the way. So be sure to contact us there as well. Look forward to talking to you again. Take care.